So I made a decision, a conscious decision, my arm's in a sling, waiting to go to the doctor, and I made a decision, okay, I'm going to save these guys. I'm going to save the Christians. Long story short, and of course I tell this story in Shattered, but they confront me at a Bible study that I go to, and they say, you know, Frank, you've asked a lot of questions and we can't answer those questions, but you said one thing, you want to believe in what's true and what's real. And Frank, I want to believe in what's true and what's real. Will you help me? And so this is a hired gun that he had brought to this Bible study. He was an old guy, he was at least 35, you know, and so he says, will you read these books? Would you like to read? And it's like, yeah. And he says, will you read these books and we'll get back together again and you can share with us everything that you've learned and then we'll become happy and fulfilled just like you. So I didn't know Christians wrote books. I never had met an intelligent Christian in my life. I thought it was an oxymoron, like jumbo shrimp, you know? And so this little book called Mere Christianity, and I started reading. It was the very first time I'd ever read any Christian literature. And then Evidence Demands a Verdict by some guy named Josh McDowell, and read that. And so Dorothy, I can tell you as an atheist, I'm sitting reading this stuff. I've never heard this. I'm getting angry. I'm going, why have I never heard this? Why? If this is true, this changes everything. If there's a creator God, if there's a redeemer, if this severed relationship between God and man created with freedom has been severed and now that severed has been healed by a cross, if that's a real historical figure, if good triumphs over evil, then my life's not over because my career's over.
That's it.
There's got to be more to this. If this is true, why haven't I heard this? And so what happened was, I'm reading, and in Pittsburgh, of all places, we hated the Pirates. Okay, the We Are Family Pirates. In Pittsburgh, of all places, I decided to become a Christian in the bathroom during the game as I'm reading these books.
In the bathroom during the game.
Yeah. And so I come out, and the game's over now, and I come out, and I go to Tommy Hume, who was our relief pitcher. He's a star. And I go, and he was the Bible chapel leader guy, okay? And he was the one that was part of that Bible study, right, that challenged me to disprove Christianity, and they've been watching me like a pot waiting to boil, right? And I came over to Hume, and I go, Hume, I'm a Christian. And he goes, praise Jesus, sort of Assembly of God, Pentecostal, you know? And I'm like, shh.
Don't tell
And shh, you know, the whole clubhouse, everybody looks, you know, he said it too loud. And I go, I want to get together with the guys. And he's like, oh boy, now we can teach him the words to all the songs, you know? And I'm like, no. So we get back in the hotel. And in the hotel, this is after 5 years, right? And we get up in the hotel, and I go, these are the guys now, the Christians on the team. I go, guys, for 5 years we've been having this relationship where you'd come up, I'd ask you questions, you gave me lame answers. But yeah, we've been hanging out, playing cards and golf and playing together for 5 seasons. But you know what? I could have gone to hell because you didn't know why you believed what you believed. You're in violation of 1 Peter 3:15. I was asking you great questions, and you're commanded by the fisherman Peter to give to every man an answer. Not just, I wasn't asking you bizarre stuff like Aramaic and cuneiform and papyrus and textual manuscript stuff, and you know, I was at, why is there a God? Why do you believe in Jesus? What about world religions? And you always said, oh, just it's not about facts, it's about faith. I was like, that's not faith. Faith isn't wishing. Faith isn't trying to believe what you know isn't real. It's based on evidence. It's character, it's track record, it's trust. You don't trust the Bible. So when I asked this, you should have said this. And I taught my first class in apologetics about 2 hours old in the Lord.
I was going to say, you just got your heart to the Lord.
See? And so, and I'm only 2 hours old. So my career ends, and the Lord continues moving, and I go to graduate school, I go to seminary, I become a professor at Talbot School of Theology, and again, the Lord's working. I do some radio and some television and things like that. And the drive time radio host in Los Angeles announces his retirement, and I had been a guest host for a while. And I was doing a PhD program in political philosophy and American government, and I got the radio show. And so I never had a chance to finish the dissertation, but I did all the PhD work. And so now I host the largest Christian talk show in America.
3 hours a day.
3 hours Monday through Friday, drive time Los Angeles. And we engage on these issues. And a little bit's in the book, But as we talked about earlier, there's the brokenness side and the connect, and how God takes these broken pieces, whether it's our family of origin, relationships, professionally,
Yes.
our ministry, all of that, and puts these broken pieces into a beautiful mosaic that you can never foresee forthcoming. It's only in the rear window that you can see that. And so I encourage people, whatever is happening right now,
Yes.
maybe God isn't answering your prayer because He has something better planned.
You know, you've got to get this book. You will love it because look at here. Look at this face.
Well, look what God has done.
That's what I'm saying. He wasn't always like that.
No.
He's had a shattered life, and now through the shatteredness of his life, he brings you hope through Jesus Christ.
Amen.
When you do your radio show,
Yes.
is it a talk show? Do people call in?
Yes. About half the show is guests. About half the show is me and the audience. And I bring the news of the day from a Christian worldview. So we do marriage and family, we do politics, same lineup you see on Fox News with Glenn Beck and Sean Hannity. I got those guys on. We do some politics, we do cults, world religions, government. I mean, I did a PhD in political philosophy in the coursework, and so we can do government stuff. And so, put it this way. I see so many Christians not involved in their communities
Yes.
and not involved politically, not involved, and because they think it's like anathema or something bad. Politics is theology applied. It's how we love our neighbor as ourselves. And so I do
Yes.
that Monday through Friday. FrankPastore.com. There's a bunch of stuff. But get shattered. It's a good hook. And you're going to read that and you're going to love that.
And I'm going to love it.
Yeah.
Because I love the Cincinnati Reds. No, I'm going to love it because I know you and you wrote a good book.
Bless
and
your heart.
You're going to want this book, especially if you've got a messed up life and you just say there's no hope. Yes, there is. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
The pain of shattered dreams comes to the forefront through former Major League Baseball pitcher Frank Pastore. In his new book, Shattered, Frank shares with you his story of seeing his dreams come crashing to the ground when he suffered a severe injury to his pitching elbow during a game. It was that injury that sent this lifelong atheist on a journey that would change not only his mind, but his whole life. Discover through Frank's story how shattered dreams can be put back together into something greater than you could ever hope or imagine. God's grace for all will become evident as you read the pages of this book. Shattered is available for this buy-the-book offer of $13.99. Simply call 888-725-8033 and request offer number 250. That's 888-725-8033. Request offer number 250. Buy the book today. By the Book's Dorothy Spaulding opens her heart in her book, We Walk by Faith, Not by Sight, a story that will connect with every reader. As Dorothy shares her real adventure in faith, walking the cross thousands of miles throughout the United States, for 8 years witnessing and challenging people to be bold witnesses for Jesus. Order your copy by calling 888-725-8033 for just $14.95 plus shipping and handling. Ask for offer number 140.